What the heck is up, guys? It's Jacob here, and today we're shooting a quick video just kind of to talk about network and duplexes and stuff like that. We're going to talk about full versus half duplex and kind of get into what that means and the ups and downs to it. So we'll go ahead and look at some examples of full versus half duplex in the rack and explain exactly what the difference between full versus half duplex is in as far as like networking and switches and fiber optics and stuff like that goes. So also, I'm shooting this video on my iPhone 5 camera. I just got an iPhone 5C like maybe a month ago, so I just wanted to finally test out the actual camera quality. So supposedly it has a really good resolution, like 720 and 1080. So I just wanted to take a peek at that. So yeah, this is the front camera right now. We'll use the rear camera in just a second to look at the rack, but let's go ahead and head over to the rack right now. Alright guys, a little bit of a transition here. It's actually nighttime now. I'm shooting this part of the video later. I actually had to go to work, so here we are at the rack. And there's a lot of examples. I mean, it's not really something you can just show just by showing you guys like a switch or something, full versus half duplex, but I'll go ahead and explain it here. So anyways, this here's a 100 megabit switch, and this is a gigabit switch up here. And then these are our fiber optic converters. Here, let me show you guys these. We're going to open this up. These two units here are fiber optic converters. This guy and this guy. And then up here we also have a fiber optic converter, and these are some fiber optic converters. So whenever you have any type of internet connection, local internet, no matter what, any type of connection, you're gonna have up and down speed, or transmit and receive. You can see the TX and RX. So you're always going to send and receive packets, no matter what case it is. Even if you're downloading something or you're uploading something or whatever, maybe a majority of your packets may go one direction, but even to, let's just say, if you're going to go download a file, you're going to have to send some packets to that server to request that file. So you're always going to have packets going both ways. Up and down, no matter what. So the 100 megabits is the speed of it. Gigabit is the speed of this. That's just the speed at how many packets per second. A bit is just one packet, you could say. A byte is 8 packets. So these are not bytes. This isn't 100 megabytes a second. 100 megabits. So you can have 100 packets, let's just say, going in either direction. Let's just say it like that. Just keep it simple. Now, when you are operating in full duplex, you can actually send and receive packets at 100 megabits at the same time, simultaneously at the same second. I can send and receive 100 megabits of data. Here I can send and receive 1,000 megabits of data, or 1 gigabit of data per second. And I can send and receive those at the same time. You can actually see here on these fiber optic converters that there's actually 2 ports per channel here. You can see that there's one Ethernet port, and there's these 2 fiber optics. That's because the fiber optics are actually separated into 2 cables for sending and receiving data. They actually send and receive at the same time. Now, these particular converters here will only do half duplex, I think. I'm pretty sure they only do half duplex at any given moment, which means they can only send or receive at one time. And that's the difference between full and half duplex. One, you can actually, with full duplex, you can send and receive at the same time. With half, you can only send or receive. Now, it's very, very important that no matter what, I mean, there are ups and downs to both of them, but you have things configured the right way. Usually a switch, you don't have to configure in a switch. A switch it just transmits the data. It's just a messenger, really. It's not gonna, it'll send and receive at the same time, or just do full or half duplex. You don't need to tell a switch. But when you go through something like a fiber optic converter, or if it ends up on a computer, you know, or there's like, say, a server or a firewall or something, or even a router, it's always going to have in the settings, the configuration settings, where you can configure the actual port, the actual link. You can say only operate at full duplex or only operate at half duplex. And if you actually mix these up and you don't have them set to the same thing, you can also set an auto negotiate, which it will work, and it will always choose the highest possible one that will work when you auto negotiate. But let's just say I have this set to full duplex, and then I only have this guy set to half duplex. Well, what's going to happen is this is going to try and send and receive packets at the same time when this guy is not capable of actually doing it because it's only half duplex. What you end up with is a lot of what's called network collisions, and I can show you guys that. Maybe I'll set something up here in a minute where I'll show you guys a lot of network collisions. But you see these are all green lights here, and when these lights blink, that means packets are being transmitted successfully. But when you have a yellow light, that means there's actually sending and receiving, and they're actually kind of like, it's like sending and receiving packets at the same time. They're actually hitting each other and bumping into each other, and they're not actually being successfully transmitted. They're actually colliding. It's called a network collision. And you can see here that it has the indicator for a yellow light, which means collision. And those are not good. You don't want a lot of collisions. So if you actually have it set up wrong, and you have something, you don't configure it properly to where you have full and half duplex, and you have, let's just say, them linked together and they're not both running half duplex, or they're not both running full duplex, you will run into a lot of network collisions, and that causes lots of problems. You do not want network collisions. So again, half duplex is only one direction at any given time. Now these switches are only one direction at a time, or not these switches, but these converters, which isn't a problem for me because most of these fibers are going out of this rack. They're all going out of this rack actually, and they're going to other devices around the house, which are usually contacting these servers for the data, like say a movie or something. So I'm either uploading or downloading files from the server. So a majority of the packets are going only one direction at any given time. I'm either streaming video from these servers or uploading files to them. So packets are always going one direction at any given time. Mostly, a majority of them are going either up or down. So it doesn't matter that these are half duplex, but most of the time, anything you ever do at any given point, your packets are mostly either up or down at that specific time. They're not usually transmitting at the same time. So usually that's not a big deal that you have half duplex. It will make a difference. Let's just say if I have my entire internet connection going through a half duplex, then going into a switch and sharing that with all my devices in the house, because maybe there's some devices going up and down at the same time, or they want to go up. Some devices, let's just say uploading a YouTube video, but someone else is downloading something from the internet. In that case, they're both sharing that half duplex link between the internet, and they're not going to be able to both upload and download at the same specific time. So that would slow down things a lot. But just between one device, say just one computer, and a switch or whatever, it's not going to make a big difference. So that's pretty much the difference between full and half duplex. In some cases, it's better to have half duplex gigabit rather than full duplex 100 megabit, because like I said, most of the time you're only having packets going in one direction. So let's go ahead, I'll set something up to where we'll have a lot of network collisions so I can show you what that looks like. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Alright, so this is just going to give you a little visual of what I just kind of explained there. Before I'll go ahead and show you what a network collision looks like in a second, but I actually just wanted to draw this out for you because I'm a very visual person and it really helps to draw it out. So let's just say everything here is half duplex. Let's say we have a half duplex here, and half duplex here. Now, this is actually very bad. For one reason, is that this here is half duplex and these two are uploading and downloading. So let's just say we have the internet here. Sorry guys, that's so shaky. That's why I got an actual camera, but this iPhone's kind of hard to hold, and I've had like 4 monsters now, so I'm kind of shaky. But anyways, this is the internet, and they're both uploading. So Bob is uploading, let's just say Bob's uploading a YouTube video, right? Through the switch, so he's going to go and he's going to upload through the switch. Now that's not a problem that he has half duplex, because most of his packets are being uploaded anyways. They're all going in one direction, or a majority of them are going in one direction. So it doesn't matter that he has a half duplex connection. Now Joe Blow, let's just say Joe Blow is downloading a bunch of porn from the internet, right? So now he's got all of his packets coming in one direction too. So it's okay that we have a half duplex here, because most of his packets are coming down. So those would still be very fast connections, right? But now Bob is uploading his YouTube through this connection, which is half duplex, and Joe Blow is downloading his porn through this connection, which is also half duplex, and they're sharing the same connection. Well, they both can't do that at the same time, again, because it's a half duplex connection. So it would have to do half and half, and it would split the jobs between the two. So it would send some packets and then receive some packets through this connection. But because they're half duplex, they would not both be able to do what they wanted to do at the same time. So you would not have a happy world. You would only be able to download and upload at any specific time. You cannot do both. You could only do download or upload. So it would upload a few packets from Bob's PC up to YouTube into the internet. It would put his on hold for a second. It would pause, and it would download a couple of Joe Blow's porn packets, and then it would go back and forth between the two. It would not do both of them at the same time. Whereas if you had a full duplex connection here, it would you would be able to upload and download at the same time. And then since they only have half duplex, they're only uploading or downloading individually once, so it doesn't really matter that they have half duplexes. But that's just to show you kind of what I explained there. So now let's go ahead and take a look at some packet collisions and see what those look like. Alright guys, so it actually doesn't look much different, and I don't like this. That's one thing I don't like about this switch, but it's very hard to distinguish that this is actually a yellow light. It looks very similar to the green light on camera, and I'm sorry that it does look like that. It's very hard to tell. Maybe if I went in close enough, maybe you can kind of tell that that is a yellow light, actually. It's blinking yellow, so this is pretty much all collisions. And with collisions, it just means that, you know, the packets they're colliding into each other. It slows down the thing a lot. It has to correct those collisions. You know, it slows down the entire network a lot, and it's not a good thing. And it can actually end up with, you know, like giving you errors or whatever. Say, let's just say you're sending a file, you can end up with a corrupted file. So it's not always a good thing, but I mean, usually it still works. I mean, it works fine. I have collisions happening on this network in this case all the time between these switches, but it's just not an ideal setup. But so let me just explain how this is actually set up and why it is having collisions. So I have this server, this guy right here, and you can see that the hard drive light is very active on it. I'm actually sending and receiving files from this server right now between this and this computer right here, which is the computer in the den. And so it's actually uploading and downloading files from this server at the same time. This server is set up to this switch right here through 100 megabit full duplex. So the card on here is full duplex. So it's set up like that. The computer is also set up 100 megabit full duplex through this. Now, this switch here, not the switch, but this converter, is only half duplex. So you have one thing on each end. You have a full duplex here, and then you have a full duplex here, and then between it, you have only half duplex capability because this is only half duplex. You end up with machines that are wanting to send and receive packets at the same time, but they can't because they're colliding once they get to here. And this is only capable of sending and receiving at one given time, at different times, rather. You can't send and receive at the same time. So you end up with packets that run into each other and a lot of collisions. And you end up with this yellow light, which is very hard to tell on this switch. Let me see if I can get in one more time really close and maybe you can tell the difference in color. And yeah, it is a little bit different, but it's very hard to tell, and even from a distance I can't tell if their collisions are just regular packets, but that is a yellow flashing light. So that's pretty much it for full and half duplex and the differences between them. If you guys have any more questions, definitely hit me up at oh my god guys, hit me up at my website, thehackhub.com. leave a question or a comment or whatever on the forum, and I'll get back to you on a new video, or maybe even just to reply to you right there. But that's pretty much it for this one, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little rundown of full versus half duplex, and kind of an explanation of how it's set up and what can happen if you don't have it set up right. That's pretty much it for this one, guys, and like always, have a good one.